What if the secret to a sharper, longer-lasting brain was already in your hands? Imagine a tool so simple, so accessible, that it could keep your mind vibrant well into your later years, without a prescription, without a gym membership, without a single pill. That tool? It's a book. Yes, reading, the act of diving into stories, ideas, and worlds, does more than entertain. It's a workout for your brain, a shield against time, and a key to unlocking a healthier, more resilient mind. I'm not just talking about skimming articles or scrolling through posts on your phone. I'm talking about the kind of reading that pulls you in, challenges you, and leaves you changed. In this video, we're going to explore how reading can extend your brain's life, backed by science, history, and a few practical tips to get you started. So grab a seat, maybe even a book, and let's dive into why reading might just be the ultimate brain hack. Let's start with a hard truth. Your brain is aging. Right now, as you watch this, your neurons are firing, forming connections, and keeping your thoughts sharp. But as we get older, those connections can weaken. Memory starts to slip, focus gets fuzzy, and for some, conditions like dementia or Alzheimer's creep in. It's not a cheerful thought, I know, but here's the good news. You have more control over this process than you might think. Scientists talk about something called cognitive reserve, a kind of mental savings account you build up over your lifetime. The more you challenge your brain, the deeper this reserve grows, and the better equipped you are to fend off cognitive decline. Think of it like a fortress around your mind, protecting it from the wear and tear of time. So, how do you build this fortress? By keeping your brain active, engaged, and curious. And reading? It's one of the most powerful ways to do just that. When you read, you're not just flipping pages. You're giving your brain a full-on workout. You're strengthening memory, sharpening focus, and even boosting creativity. Studies, like one from a University of Sussex in 2009, show that reading can reduce stress by up to 68%, more than listening to music or going for a walk. And a less stressed brain is a healthier brain. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of how reading works its magic, let's understand why your brain needs this kind of care in the first place. As we age, neural pathways can weaken if they're not used. It's like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it atrophies. Reading, as we'll see, is like taking your brain to the gym. Picture this. You're curled up with a novel, lost in a world of dragons or detectives. Or maybe you're poring over a biography, piecing together the life of someone remarkable. What's happening in your brain? A lot more than you might realize. Reading engages multiple regions of your brain at once. The language centers light up as you decode words. Your memory kicks into gear, tracking characters or arguments. Your imagination sparks, painting vivid pictures of scenes or concepts. Even your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making and critical thinking, gets a workout as you analyze and interpret what you're reading. This multitasking is what makes reading so special. Unlike watching a video, where images are handed to you, reading forces your brain to construct those images itself. It's active, not passive. And that activity strengthens something called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections and adapt. A 2013 study from Emory University found that reading a novel increases connectivity in the brain's left temporal cortex, the area linked to language and understanding, even days after you finish the book. It's like your brain keeps practicing long after you've closed the cover. But it's not just about connections. Reading also sharpens your memory. When you follow a story or argument, you're holding on to details, names, events, ideas, and weaving them into a coherent whole. This process strengthens your hippocampus, the brain region tied to memory. Over time, this can make you better at recalling information and staying sharp. And here's the kicker. A 2001 study published in Neurology found that people who regularly engage in mentally stimulating activities like reading are less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. Reading isn't just a pastime, it's a shield for your brain's future. Reading doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you feel more deeply too. When you dive into a story, you're not just observing, you're living it. Your brain simulates the experiences of characters, letting you walk in their shoes. This builds empathy, the ability to understand and share others' emotions. A 2013 study from Kingston University showed that regular readers of fiction score higher on tests of empathy than non-readers. Why? Because when you read about someone's struggles, joys, or fears, your brain mirrors those emotions, almost as if you're experiencing them yourself. This emotional workout has a ripple effect. Empathy makes you better at relationships, more attuned to others' needs. But it also reduces stress, a major enemy of brain health. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, a hormone that can damage neurons over time. Reading, especially fiction, acts like a reset button. It pulls you out of your own worries and into another world, lowering your heart rate and calming your mind. A 2009 study from the University of Sussex found that just 6 minutes of reading can reduce stress levels by more than 2/3. That's faster than meditating or going for a walk. And there's more. Reading can boost your emotional intelligence, helping you navigate complex feelings and situations. Whether it's a novel about heartbreak or a memoir about resilience, books teach you how to process emotions in a healthy way. This emotional resilience supports your cognitive health, creating a virtuous cycle. A calmer mind is a sharper mind, and a sharper mind stays healthier for longer. Not all reading is created equal, and that's a good thing. Different genres work your brain in different ways, like a varied diet for your mind. Let's start with fiction. Novels and short stories are like a playground for your imagination. They force you to visualize settings, characters, and events, activating your brain's visual cortex. A 2014 study from the University of Toronto found that reading literary fiction improves your ability to understand others' mental states, a skill called theory of mind. So when you lose yourself in a Jane Austen novel or a sci-fi epic, you're not just escaping, you're training your brain to be more socially perceptive. Nonfiction, on the other hand, is like a personal trainer for your analytical skills. Biographies, history books, or science texts challenge you to process complex information, make connections, and think critically. They engage your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and problem-solving. A 2016 study from Yale University found that people who read nonfiction regularly tend to have better working memory, the ability to hold and manipulate information in your mind. And don't sleep on poetry. It's like a high-intensity interval workout for your brain. The dense language, rhythm, and imagery demand intense focus and interpretation. Reading poetry activates areas of the brain linked to emotion and memory, giving you a unique cognitive boost. The best part? You don't have to choose one genre. Mixing fiction, nonfiction, and poetry gives your brain a well-rounded workout, keeping it agile and adaptable. So whether you're into thrillers, self-help, or sonnets, every page you turn is a step toward a healthier brain. Reading isn't just a modern brain hack, it's been shaping minds for centuries. Think about the Renaissance, when the printing press made books widely available. Suddenly, people could access ideas from across the world, sparking an explosion of creativity and knowledge. Philosophers like Erasmus and scientists like Galileo devoured texts, building on others' ideas to push human understanding forward. Their brains were sharper for it, and their contributions changed history. Or consider the Enlightenment, when reading fueled revolutions of thought. Thinkers like Voltaire and Rousseau didn't just read, they wrestled with ideas, debated through letters, and wrote books that inspired change. Their minds were agile, their arguments sharp, because they spent hours engaging with the written word. Even today, reading connects us to this legacy. When you pick up a book, you're tapping into a tradition that's been strengthening human intellect for centuries. And just like those giants of the past, you're giving your brain the tools to stay vibrant and capable, no matter your age. Let's get to the hard evidence. Reading doesn't just feel good, it's measurably good for your brain. A landmark study from the University of California, Berkeley, in 2003 followed thousands of people over decades. Those who regularly engaged in activities like reading had a significantly lower risk of developing dementia. Why? Because reading keeps your brain active, building new neural pathways and strengthening existing ones. It's like laying down extra tracks for a train. Your brain has more routes to navigate, even if some get damaged over time. Another study, published in Neurology in 2013, found that lifelong readers had slower rates of cognitive decline compared to non-readers. The researchers compared it to physical exercise. Just as running strengthens your heart, reading strengthens your brain. And it's not just about preventing decline. Reading can enhance your brain's performance right now. A 2016 study from the University of Perugia showed that reading improves vocabulary, verbal fluency, and even problem-solving skills, all of which contribute to a healthier, more resilient brain. The science is clear. Reading is one of the best investments you can make in your brain's future. It's not about becoming a scholar or reading War and Peace overnight. Even light reading, magazines, short stories, or popular novels, can make a difference. The key is consistency, like any good habit. Every page you read is a deposit in that cognitive reserve, building a stronger, longer-lasting brain. But here's the problem: we're reading less than ever. In the digital age, our attention is under siege. Social media, streaming platforms, and endless notifications compete for our focus, and books are losing out. A 2019 survey by the Pew Research Center found that 27% of American adults hadn't read a single book in the past year. That's a quarter of the population missing out on one of the best tools for brain health. Why does this matter? Because screens aren't the same as books. Scrolling through posts or watching videos is often passive, fragmented, and fleeting. It doesn't engage your brain the way reading does. In fact, excessive screen time has been linked to reduced attention spans and weaker memory, according to a 2018 study from the University of Michigan. Books, on the other hand, demand focus. They pull you into a sustained, immersive experience that strengthens your brain in ways no algorithm can replicate. This isn't about shaming anyone for loving their phone. I'm guilty of doom scrolling too. But the data is clear. If we want to protect our brains, we need to make space for reading. It's not about ditching technology entirely. It's about balance. A book in your hand is a rebellion against distraction, a gift to your future self. So, how do you make reading a part of your life? It's easier than you think, and it doesn't require hours a day or a PhD in literature. Start small. Even 10 minutes of reading before bed can add up over time. Set a goal, maybe one book a month, and pick something you actually enjoy. If you're into true crime, grab a thriller. If you love history, try a biography. The best book for your brain is one you can't put down. Create a routine. Maybe it's reading with your morning coffee or on your commute. Make it a ritual, like brushing your teeth. And don't be afraid to mix it up. Audiobooks count too. A 2020 study from the University of California found that listening to books activates the same brain regions as reading print. So if you're always on the go, pop in some earbuds and let a story unfold. E-readers are great too. They're portable, and you can adjust the font to suit your eyes. Another tip: join a book club or talk about what you're reading with friends. Discussing books strengthens your memory and critical thinking by forcing you to articulate ideas. Plus, it's fun. And if you're worried about time, cut back on one Netflix episode a week and replace it with reading. Your brain will thank you. The key is to make reading a habit, not a chore. Start where you are, with what you love, and watch the benefits stack up. So, here we are. We've journeyed through the science, the history, and the sheer magic of reading. It's not just a hobby, it's a lifeline for your brain. Every book you read, every story you explore, every idea you wrestle with is an investment in your mind's future. You're building a cognitive reserve, strengthening neural connections, and boosting your emotional resilience. You're giving yourself a sharper, healthier, longer-lasting brain. The best part? You don't need to overhaul your life to start. Pick up a book, any book, and read a page. Then another. Let the words pull you in, challenge you, and change you. Whether it's a novel, a memoir, or a collection of poems, Every word you read is a step toward a vibrant mind. So, what are you waiting for? Your brain's future is in your hands. Grab a book, find a cozy spot, and start reading today. Your mind will thank you for years to come.